Let's stop laying around and go do something today. After a quiet week here at the state park at Lake Arrowhead, we decided to go into Wichita Falls and see what that's about. We tried to get an early start because it's going to be 97 degrees today, but it's already 9 o'clock. For a walk at the park. It's a beautiful morning here in Wichita Falls. Taking a walk in the park. Wichita Lake Park in the middle of the city. Beautiful lake. Nice concrete path. Birds are singing and the grass is green. We spent the week at Lake Arrowhead State Park. Beautiful state park near Wichita Falls.
What state?
Texas, the big state of Texas. I just love the state park. Quiet. We didn't do a whole lot. I worked. Grandpa did a few projects.
What are you doing?
Working. It's what I do during the week.
Why do you work?
Well, you know, to pay the bills and to carry some insurance. Since you know who doesn't work anymore. Pete and Charlie don't work anymore.
Those two don't work anymore?
The first few nights we had the place practically to ourselves. It filled up on the weekend. But the loops, they have like these individual little loops where only 5 or 6 sites. They're long, level sites, concrete pads. You get water and electric. It was just a beautiful park. And I think what I liked best was that it reminded me a little bit of home and the state parks in Wisconsin. Green grass, lawn mowers, birds chirping. We saw robins and cardinals. So when you woke up, it even sounded like home. Grandpa, what are some of the things you did while you were at the campground?
Not much.
I think I saw you washing windows.
Sure.
And you worked a little bit on the truck. I saw that. And I think you worked a little bit on your model fifth wheel you're building. This is an oil pump jack, and it's smack dab in the middle of our campground. This device is used to extract oil from the ground by increasing the pressure. It's often called a nodding donkey or a horsehead pump. We could hear the noise from our campsite on the first day, but it took us several days to figure out where it was coming from. We did run an errand into Wichita Falls one afternoon after work to get some things at Walmart, and we tried Hawaiian barbecue. And I really liked mine. It was a teriyaki chicken. And Grandpa had pork, and then we shared a Dole Whip. Probably can't see him, but listen. Big red cardinal. We got back in the truck and headed for another part of the park. Grandpa, what is this place?
Radio controlled airplane and radio controlled car park.
So this is the oval for the cars to go round and round.
Yeah. It's probably a pad for drones over there, and I didn't bring mine.
Oh no. Well, we could go home and get it. And that's a runway for the airplanes?
I guess. Paved and everything. Nobody here using it. The one in Colorado we went to was busy.
It's already getting really hot. I think we're going to call it a day and head back to the camper. We'll have to explore some more another time. Another quiet day here in Texas. We're going to be traveling soon, further north into Oklahoma. And when we travel, we always like to have a cooler and a snack bag. And it's always a good thing to have a sweet treat partway through a long, boring trip. Homemade sweet treats are the best. Today, we're going to make oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Grandpa loves them. I love them. Everybody loves an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. I think I have everything I need since we were recently at the Walmart here in Princeton, Texas. And while we were there, we saw the coolest thing. Check this out. Cool, you can have Walmart delivered by drones here. Like with any recipe, a good rule of thumb is to always measure your dry ingredients first. And not only is it so that you have them all ready, and oftentimes you're supposed to sift them together. For cookies, I don't sift them together. And oftentimes that's why you do it ahead of time. But in my world, in Grandma's kitchen, where there's no unnecessary dishes, we do it ahead of time so that I can reuse the cup for the wet ingredients, right? It isn't going to hurt to measure, butter or sugar or something in a cup that only had flour in it, right? So we're going to start with 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to roughly level it. It's not going to be super picky for cookies. And next we are going to, I'm looking at a teaspoon of salt. We'll throw that in on top of the flour. Oh no, I just discovered that this is a half a teaspoon. It's always something. I'll just measure twice. No worries. So salt is done. And then I'm sure there's some soda in there. Teaspoon of soda. Teaspoon of soda. And guess what? Half a teaspoon spoon measurer. So what do we got to do? Do it twice. Always have to overcomplicate things. But it's good for our math skills, right? Just give that a little stir. And that's it for dry ingredients. I don't know if I mentioned, we're at Lake Vibe RV Park in Princeton, Texas. And it's a full hookup campground. So there's something we always do when we have a full cook. Well, not always, but we probably should. When we have full hookups, the pups get a bath.
Grandma,
What?
what are you doing?
Giving Peanut a bath. She really is enjoying it, can't you tell?
Is that Peanut or a drowned rat?
Poor Peanut.
Peanut, are you dirty? Dirty dog. Peanut. Come on. I didn't get a bath, but I want a treat too. Huh? What are you doing? Now what are you doing?
Now Charlie's getting a bath. He smells awful.
Charlie?
Look at those whiskers. Ew. Now with the rest of the ingredients. We need 3/4 cup of white sugar, 3/4 cup brown sugar, firmly packed. All right, let's clear some of this out of here. Now, the interesting thing about this recipe and why I like it when I'm on board the camper is that it doesn't take butter. Oftentimes when we're dispersed camp and we don't have electricity, the microwave doesn't work. The microwave and the air conditioner are the only two things we don't run off of our batteries. So this recipe takes buttered flavored Crisco or a buttered flavored shortening, right? Doesn't have to be Crisco. And what I love is it's pre-measured, 1 cup, and it's automatically soft, right? It doesn't need to be softened like butter. And of course I could lay the butter out, you know, a day before. This is Grandma's kitchen. She keeps things simple and easy, right? This is the easiest. You just dump it in. It's already soft, ready to blend. And that's what we're going to do next. This is the only time I miss my old big KitchenAid stand mixer. I've got this little guy. He works hard. He does a great job. Let's mix the shortening and the sugar. Now my stand mixer does a great job of kind of going around the sides, right, and scraping down the stuff that's not mixing. My poor little worker here, he doesn't do that very good job of that, or maybe I don't do a very good job of that. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides. Mix it up a little bit. Give it another run. Yeah, that works for me for cookies. Now we're going to do vanilla and eggs. This is Grandma's way of doing vanilla. Yeah, right? And 2 eggs. And in Grandma's kitchen, no unnecessary dishes, right? I crack the eggs into one of my dirty measure cups. That way I can check if there's any shells or anything in there, or you know, the eggs don't look right or whatever. Once they're in the cup, they go in the mix. 1 dirty cup. Let's give that a stir. I think I'm going to beat this a little bit, get it good and blended, and then we'll come right back. Oops, I forgot one of the ingredients. I just checked the recipe. And this recipe takes a tablespoon of hot water. Probably should have put that in sooner, would have stirred up better. And I think that's to compensate for the fact that it's using shortening and not butter. I think butter carries more moisture. You can let me know if that's right or wrong, but I think that's why the tablespoon of water goes in there. Now, the dry ingredients that we did ahead of time, right? Let's put those in there. And people, you know, say put a little bit and stir, put a little bit and stir. Not in Grandma's Easy Kitchen. It all goes in at once. Yeah, that's probably all this poor little mixer can stand. We'll probably go by hand the rest of the way, but there's 2 more missing ingredients. The best part of oatmeal cookies, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, is the oatmeal and the chocolate chip. Okay, recipe takes 2 cups of quick oats, or 1-minute oats. And no, it's not magic. I was so low on oats. I wanted to measure these first, so I have exactly 2 cups in here. We're going to put that in there. No, Grandma's not that smart. And then chocolate chips. And I'm sure the recipe has an exact amount of chocolate chips. I like to just put in chocolate chips. I can check the recipe. Hang on. 1 cup of chocolate chips. Well, this is what 1 cup of chocolate chips looks like in Grandma's kitchen. And because I'm out of regular chips, we're going to put minis in. And I often mix minis and regulars anyway. That way you get a little chocolate in every bite. I can try with my little superhero here to get that going. Well, it's not doing too bad. All right, let's stir by hand. And we talked about that we have a travel day coming up and we're going toward Oklahoma, further north, closer to home. And we already have reservations there at a state park. Should be a really nice place, and I'm hoping to get a video out soon on the state park. And about the recipe, I will post the recipe down in the description of the video if anybody's interested. But I think most of the people watching who are family probably already have this recipe. Next, we have to get out a pan, preheat the oven, and bake us some cookies. Now you could use like a baller, and that works great, and I know people who love them. You know, when you move to an RV and you downsize, and there's just not room for everything, a cookie baller was not on my list. And actually, I've done it this way since I was little, and I learned to make cookies back home on the farm. And yeah, I'm using my finger, but I'm not feeding anyone in the public. It's just me and Gramps. So I put on a nice hefty tablespoon and just slide it off with my finger. They end up round enough for me. As long as you make them all the same size, then they'll all bake evenly or the same, right? You don't want one really big cookie and one really small cookie, and then the small cookie burns as the big cookie's still raw, right? Make them all about the same size. I'm not picky how I get there. You might notice I'm using a little bit of parchment paper, and I just recently bought a package of the sheets, so it's automatically cut to size. But I guess you don't buy parchment paper at the dollar store because the sheet is super tiny and I can only get 9 cookies on. But still, in this kitchen, say it together, no unnecessary dishes. So by using the parchment, it keeps this really clean, not 100% clean, right? I'm still going to wipe it down, but it's not going to need a thorough washing like it would if I didn't use the parchment paper at all, right? Alrighty, we have our 9 cookies. The oven is hot. Here we go. I think we're just going to bake the 1 pan of cookies today, and I'm going to put the rest in the fridge for later. Since it's just Grandpa and I, we don't need to bake a whole batch of cookies. Besides, I like a fresh baked cookie, right? Either eat them when they're nice and warm, or maybe the next day. After that, I kind of lose interest. So this way, I can bake a pan at a time. I'll bake a pan just before we leave on Saturday or Sunday. I think we're leaving Sunday. So I am going to put this in the fridge, and I can scoop out a few at a time and bake a few at a time. Oftentimes, I'm just doing it this way today because I'm lazy like that. I will put the little blobs, the little scoops of cookie out on a sheet and kind of flash freeze them. All that means is put them in the freezer for a little while until they're not tacky. And then I throw them in a Ziploc bag. And that's really nice because then when I bake them, I just pop them out of the Ziploc, put them on the pan, and throw them in the oven. And I might get to that too. I mean, if we don't get through this in the next, couple weeks or a week or whatever, because it's got eggs in it, whatever's left will get thrown in the freezer. It smells amazing in here. I think we're done. They've been in the oven a little over 10 minutes maybe. The recipe says 10 to 12 minutes. I just eyeball it. It also depends on the size of the cookie, right? But they look done to me. Uh-oh, what happened to this one? He's a little bit spread out compared to the others. In fact, I probably know what happened. My little mighty mixer, I didn't give it enough chance to really stir things up. This one probably has a little more shortening in it, makes it spread a little more. It's not a problem because I'll just eat that one before Grandpa sees them and he won't know. Nobody will know. We'll just eat it. Thanks for joining me with the cookies today. Don't forget the recipes in the description. We're on our way back to the Midwest. We hope to see you guys soon.